A 5-minute biography of DissociaDID. Good evening, everyone. Today I would like to share the story of DissociaDID, one of the most well-known mental health creators on YouTube and one of the most recognized public voices discussing dissociative identity disorder, often called DID. DissociaDID is the online identity of a British content creator who launched a YouTube channel in 2018 with a mission to educate the public about dissociative disorders and trauma-related mental health conditions. At the time, very few creators were producing detailed, accessible content about DID, and public understanding of the disorder was often shaped by fictional portrayals in movies and television. Before becoming a public figure, DissociaDID had been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder and was navigating the challenges of treatment and recovery. Wanting to reduce stigma and help others understand the condition, they began creating educational videos explaining symptoms, terminology, therapy, and the daily realities of living with DID. The channel quickly gained attention because it combined education with personal experience. Rather than discussing the disorder from a clinical perspective alone, DissociaDID provided first-hand accounts of what it felt like to live with dissociation, memory gaps, trauma, and multiple identity states. Viewers found the content informative, relatable, and often deeply emotional. As the audience grew, the channel expanded into discussions about trauma recovery, mental health advocacy, relationships, self-care, and navigating life with a complex mental health diagnosis. The creator became known for speaking openly about difficult subjects that many people felt uncomfortable discussing publicly. One of the biggest turning points came when DissociaDID began appearing in interviews and collaborations with larger creators. These appearances introduced millions of viewers to discussions about DID and helped bring the topic into mainstream online conversations. Subscriber numbers climbed rapidly, and the channel eventually reached well over 1 million followers. However, with greater visibility came greater scrutiny. Over the years, DissociaDID became involved in several controversies and public disputes. Critics questioned aspects of the channel's presentation of DID, while supporters argued that the creator was simply sharing personal experiences and raising awareness. These debates often spark larger discussions about mental health diagnosis, representation, and the challenges of discussing psychiatric conditions online. Despite the controversies, DissociaDID remained an influential figure in the mental health community. The channel continued producing educational content and advocating for greater understanding of trauma-related disorders. For many viewers, the videos served as a starting point for learning about dissociation and encouraged conversations that might not otherwise have occurred. The legacy of DissociaDID is complex. Supporters view the channel as a pioneering force that brought awareness of dissociative identity disorder to a global audience. They credit the creator with helping reduce stigma and providing support to people who felt isolated in their experiences. Critics, meanwhile, have raised questions about representation and the responsibilities that come with being a prominent mental health influencer. Regardless of where one stands in those debates, there is little doubt that DissociaDID has a significant impact on online mental health discussions. The channel helped introduce millions of people to a disorder that many had never heard of or understood. It also demonstrated the power of social media to educate audiences about mental health topics that were once rarely discussed in public. Today, DissociaDID remains one of the most recognizable names associated with online DID education and advocacy. Their story reflects both the opportunities and challenges of sharing personal mental health experiences in the digital age. In the end, DissociaDID's biography is a story of advocacy, education, controversy, resilience, and influence. Whether viewed as an educator, a creator, or a public advocate, their impact on conversations about dissociation and mental health has been substantial and continues to be discussed today. Thank you.